My name is Julie and I make and sell cards, and today I'm going to make a Christmas card using this paper. So I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock. This is Secret Sea. It's a very beautiful deep blue, dark blue. It's 8.5 by 11, a regular size piece of cardstock, and I'm cutting it in half. And then I'm going to turn it and score it in half the other way. So now I have an A2 size card. So in half, which is now 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this is my card base. And then I'm going to use this plaid as my background, and I just love this plaid. I think it's very Christmassy and festive, and I just think it's beautiful. It's got some nice reds and greens and some blues, and I think it really pairs nicely with this dark blue color. So I'm cutting it down, the paper down, so it is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the size of the card. So my card was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is cut down to be 4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to be the background of my card, which I can glue on there now. Here I go. And then I'm going to cut the other pieces to decorate the front of my card. And I'm just going to eyeball it to look to see at my my borders are mostly equal at about 1/4 of an inch on all 4 of the sides of my card. So now I'm going to bring out my die cutting machine because I have a little bit of cutting to do for my sentiment. So my sentiment's going to say Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use this shape here. Oops. Let's see. There's just some pieces on there. Okay, here's my cover. And I'm using this very pale green color for my sentiment. And I'm going to stamp on there momentarily. And then behind my sentiment, I have this red with these polka dots, this deep red circle that in a second you'll see has a really pretty border around it. So this is a pretty simple card, but I do think it's elegant too. There's a few little pieces, so that die cutting machine punched out these little pieces. There's a few more left in there, a little trim around the edge, like a little floral trim. So bringing back in my card, the red is going to go, the red circle is going to go in the background, and it's a pretty large circle. I would say it's almost 3 inches around. I didn't measure it, but I'm going to put it at the top 2/3. It's going to take up about the top 2/3 of my card. And then my sentiment is going to go on top of it, but I have to stamp my sentiment. And I'm going to bring in this stamp here that just says Merry Christmas. Kind of a script. Tap it with a dark red, this cherry cobbler color. Somewhat center on my sentiment piece. And then I'm actually going to pop the sentiment up. I know I have some dimensionals. Oh, here they are. On dimensionals, to give it a little height, a little interest. So just some of the little pieces. So. Okay. So now let me bring my circle is fully down, and then this is going to kind of go in the center, maybe slightly lower. So you can see I have a little bit more space in the top part of the circle than the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to put a ribbon, and this ribbon is the exact same color as my base, this dark blue color. I'm gonna make a little bow here, or attempt to. On video, make a bow. I don't know if I can do it in one shot. They're easier to make when you're not in video. Okay. All right, not bad. Trim it off. And I love to add some ribbon to cards. I just think it gives a fun little texture. And I have some glue dots. Here they are. That I'm going to use to stick it down. Got a little glue dot here, and I'm going to stick it in the corner of my sentiment. And then I'm going to dress it up with some gems, but I'm not sure which ones I want. I have a bunch of different ones. I have some blue, which would pick up the blue. I have some red. I have some gold. I don't think I want to do gold. Do I want red or blue? Now I'm down to red or blue. So I'm just kind of holding them over here to see. Oh, I'm being indecisive. So they're both fairly sparkly. The reds are a little bit more sparkly. I think I'll go with the red. Okay. So here we go. And then one down here. Okay. Now I just need to put the inside of my card together, and we're almost done. So I have a piece which is the exact same size as the plaid, a 1/4 inch smaller than the base, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to use the same Cherry Cobbler red ink that I used on the Merry Christmas for my inside sentiment. And this one is a pretty little saying that says, "May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love." I like how it says that. I think those are some nice words for the inside, and plenty of room to sign the card. Today is December 4th. I have a few more cards to make before I can send them out. I'd like to send out my Christmas cards hopefully in the next few days. So I put my border of glue, and I'm just looking to make sure I've got a fairly equal border around each of the sides. So this is a pretty simple card. Just a few little die cuts, some ribbon, gems, and it's a great card to use up some of that paper because you're using up quite a bit of your pattern paper, and especially if it's a pattern that you really like and you want to showcase and see a lot of it. And I really like this plaid, so I wanted to have a card that I could see quite a bit of it. Okay, so that's my Christmas card. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.